All right, thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Brown, for joining us. Why are you the choice for college students?
Well, first of all, let me say it's great to be here at Salisbury State University, and we've got a fantastic collection, assortment of public universities and colleges throughout the state, and we're really proud of the work that's happening here at Salisbury, preparing students for exciting careers. So I'm excited to be here. Listen, I support a college education because from my own family's experience, I know that it's an important ladder of opportunity for so many families. My father came to this country out of poverty in Kingston, Jamaica, to get a college education. He came here, he got it, and he was able to make a contribution as a doctor here in this country. But in order for that to happen, college has to be accessible, it has to be high quality, and it's got to be affordable. That's why I support a cap on college tuition. Maryland right now is leading the nation when it comes to college affordability. We used to be one of the most expensive states for public universities and colleges, and today we're one of the least expensive because of the commitment we've made to capping tuition. So I'll continue to cap that tuition. I'll also continue our efforts to shift our scholarship programs sort of away from merit-based and more towards needs-based scholarships. There'll always be a place for merit-based scholarships, but I think that if we're really going to enable more and more young people, more and more students to not only start but to complete college, we need to make sure that the financial resources are there. And then finally, we need to continue to make investments in facilities. Whether it's fine arts centers, whether it's engineering buildings, or whatever the case may be at our college campuses, because that's what attracts high caliber professors and faculty who in turn can attract grant money. And it's that grant money that helps offset the cost of education. So if you're a young person, particularly a college student, and you're considering whether or not to support the Brown-Ullman vision for a better Maryland or join the other crew, I think you can look no further than our commitment to affordable, quality, accessible college and reach the same conclusion that Anthony Brown and Ken Ullman are your candidates for governor and lieutenant governor.
So say a student gets to college and they get that degree, how are you making sure that they have a good high-paying job here in the state, and what are you doing to help, or what would you do to try and help relieve some of that student loan debt?
Sure. So I think the best way to relieve student loan debt is to put college graduates to work. So not only in Maryland, but throughout this country, job number one for governors is to create jobs. Most of the jobs in America, and Maryland is no different, are private sector jobs. But there are things that we do in the public sector that create the conditions for private employers to invest in job creating activities here in Maryland. It's investing in things like infrastructure, and often we think about roads and rail, but that also includes broadband and data network. When we bring more broadband and data networks, particularly into our rural communities, the eastern shore of Maryland, we're going to bring many, many more jobs because we know that broadband and data networks are sort of the highway of the 21st century economy. So I'll commit to investments in infrastructure, particularly here on the Eastern Shore. Also, my focus in stimulating economic growth is starting with Maryland's small, entrepreneurial, and innovative businesses. In fact, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce ranks Maryland #1 among all states for its small business, entrepreneurial, and innovative community. So it makes sense to start there. So whether we're talking about tax credits, it could be in cyber, it could be in biotech, it could be in defense communications, or tax deductions across industries when businesses are ready to invest in either payroll or facilities. We need to support small businesses. There's no reason why a cyber company, a biotech company can't be located on the Eastern Shore to create the jobs here. The only limiting factor is, do we have the skilled workforce? And do we have the infrastructure to enable those jobs to come here? So with infrastructure, investments in education, and tax credits to incentivize and support small businesses to create to establish themselves on the Eastern Shore, we will bring more jobs to the Eastern Shore.
I have a question about, Annapolis is such a blue state house. how will you make sure that some of the conservative voices, like the ones we have here over the bridge, are going to be heard?
You know, I think it's important, and if you look at my leadership style, it's a very inclusive style. You know, I think that whether you're a Republican or Democrat, young or younger, you know, we all share the same goals. We all want, you know, opportunities made possible by good education. We want to raise our families in safe neighborhoods, a clean environment, access to affordable quality health care. And that's true whether you're in Ocean City, whether you're in Salisbury, you know, whether you're in Oakland or Cumberland in Western Maryland or points in between. That's what families want. And my style has always been to bring interests around the table. Sometimes they're sort of competing perspectives, but so long as we can identify the common ground, where it is that we can find consensus and then drive that along the things that we all value, good education, good environment, good health, jobs and opportunities, we'll be able to govern for one Maryland. And that's been my style, and that's my commitment.
Anything else you'd like students to know about you or your campaign?
Go Gulls.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Brown.
Thank
you for joining us.